Alright, so now that you can simplify rational expressions and you can multiply and divide them, we're going to now add and subtract them. Now just take note when we do this that adding, subtracting rational expressions has the exact same rules as when you're adding, subtracting just integers. Okay, so you have to find the lowest common denominator, multiply the numerator to get to the lowest common denominator, and then in addition to that you've got to identify any non-permissible values. So here we have adding, subtracting rational expressions with a monomial numerator. So that's kind of our entry level one. So we're going to take a look at this, and maybe the first thing we want to do for a is identify where our non-permissible values are. So x cannot equal 0. Right? And we think about what's the lowest common denominator for 7 and 3x. So we'll identify it as 21x. Okay. So you can do this mentally, or some of you may want to do it on paper. 2x over 7. What do we have to multiply 7 by to get to 21x? It's going to be 3x. So we'll do that top and bottom. Okay. And then on the second side, we've got 5 over 3x. What do we have to multiply 3x to get to 21x? We're going to multiply that by 7. So we're just increasing both by getting them both up to lowest common denominator. So that's going to give us 6x squared. 7 times 5 is plus 35. And that's going to be over top of our LCD of 21x. Now, some people like to do it this way with increases. Some people like to do it mentally. So we look at here, a and b cannot equal 0. And then our LCD is going to be 20ab squared. So it's something that all these factors have to be able to fit into. Now, some of you can do it mentally. So a second method you could use is just to draw out the fraction, put the denominator in there, and you think to yourself, okay, what do I have to multiply 5ab to get to 20ab squared? Well, it's going to be 4b. So that's going to give us 4 times 4b is 16b. If you're not liking this, go back to this method over here to do it. 4b squared, what do I have to multiply that to get up to 20ab squared? That would be 5a. Negative 3 times 5a is negative 15a. Okay. Go to the check on 226. The answers are provided there. And also the full solution in the work text is available as well. Okay, now on the next level what's going to happen is we'll do the same thing now, except now we have binomial numerators. It's just a little bit more work. So step 1, let's identify where our non-permissible values are. X cannot equal 0. And what's our LCD going to be? The lowest number that 8 and 6 are going to go into is 24. And the lowest term that x squared and x is going to go into is x squared. Okay? So, depending on what method you want to use, I will just put the LCD on the bottom, 24x squared. What do I have to multiply 8x by to get up to 24x squared? That's going to be equal to 3x. What's left over on top? What do we have on top in the first place? X plus 5. We'll put in the sign in between. What do you have to multiply 6x squared for to get up to 24x? It's going to be 4. And the binomial that's on top is going to be x minus 7. And we'll just complete it by distributing 3x squared plus 15x plus 4x minus 28. And we'll just express that all over the LCD. Now we just have to combine some like terms here in the middle. And I'm going to run out of room. d4x squared. Same thing over here. Let's take a look at this one. We'll take a look at CD. So CD cannot equal 0. Those are non-permissible values. And we take a look at the lowest number that 3 and 5 will go into. That'll be 15. Our terms, c squared and c, so that'll be c squared. D and D will just be D. So there's our LCD. So let's write this rational expression with an LCD of 15 c squared D. What do I have to multiply 3cd by to get up to 15c squared D? That's going to be 5c. So 5c times 3c minus 2. And I carry this sign here across. What do I have to multiply 5c squared d by to get 15c squared d? It's just going to be 3. And then we just copy down the binomial, the numerator from above. Let's distribute this out. And last, combine like terms. Okay, so go to the check on 228. The answers are there, and then the full solution in the work text is available for you as well. Okay, in our last example, we're doing more than one operation. There's one section where we're adding and then another section where we're subtracting. So we'll identify where the non-permissible values are here. The lowest number that 2, 4, and 3 will go into is going to be 12. And in terms of our terms a squared and a, the lowest one that both of those will go into is going to be a squared. So let's rewrite this fraction with an LCD of 12a squared. What do I have to multiply 2 by to get 12a squared? That's going to be 6a squared times 5. Carry through with the next sign, which is negative. What do I have to multiply 4a squared to get 12a squared? Multiply it by 3. And then we just carry this 3 down from the denominator. Last step, what do we multiply 3a by to get 12a squared? That's going to be 4a. And we'll just finish it off here. So that's going to give us 30a squared minus 9 plus 8a over 12a squared. And I like things going down in decreasing exponential order. Okay, same thing here. Z cannot equal 0. The lowest number that 8, 3, and 6 will multiply into is going to be 24. And the lowest term that z and z squared will multiply into is going to be z squared. So let's rewrite the fraction with 24z squared. What do I have to multiply 8z squared by to get 24z squared? That's going to give me a 3. And then I just copy down the numerator, the binomial in the numerator. What do I have to multiply 3z by to get 24z squared? That's going to give us plus 8z. And in our last step, what am I going to multiply 6 by to get 24z squared? 3 minus 4z squared. Okay, so now we're just going to distribute. These two are going to cancel. I'll get out my cancel pen. This will cancel, this will cancel. Then plus 32z. Okay, so we'll just go from there. So we'll put it in decreasing. We've got the 4z cubed first. And then we've got the z's combined together to give us negative 26z. And then the number at the end plus 3 all over 24z squared. All right, last check on page 230. Solutions are there for you. Might be a little confusing. I get one of these ghosts pop up. Okay, so on the check, make sure that there was a little bit of a glitch in terms of the software. So just make sure that these are the two questions you're doing for A and B.